Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down what's basically your own private expressway to the cloud, Azure ExpressRoute.
So let's start with this question. Is the public internet holding your cloud back? For a lot of businesses, the answer is a big yes. You're running critical stuff in the cloud, but getting to it means using the public internet, and that can be a real headache. It's unpredictable, sometimes slow, and definitely not the most secure route. Here's a good way to think about it. Using the public internet is kind of like trying to get to a super important meeting by taking a jam-packed public highway right at rush hour. You're going to hit traffic, you'll have slowdowns, and there are always risks. But a private connection? That's your own private expressway. It's fast, it's secure, and you know you're going to get there on time.
Okay, so what is this private expressway? Well, in the Microsoft Azure world, their solution is called ExpressRoute. So, officially, Microsoft calls it a service that lets you extend your on-prem networks into their cloud over a private connection. But here's the key takeaway, the most important part. This connection does not go over the public internet at all. It's a direct private line from your stuff straight into Microsoft's massive global network.
All right, so what are the actual real-world benefits of taking this private route? Let's get into why this is such a game-changing upgrade for how you connect to the cloud.
And the advantages are, well, they're huge. We're talking way more reliability because you have a dedicated link. You get faster speeds, and maybe even more importantly, consistent speeds. And of course, the security is on another level. To top it all off, you get a service level agreement, an SLA, which is basically a financial guarantee that your connection will be up and running. Good luck getting that from the public internet.
And this quote from Microsoft really hits the nail on the head when it comes to security. Because you're bypassing the public internet completely, you just sidestep a whole class of common threats. This alone makes ExpressRoute an absolute must-have for any business that's dealing with sensitive data.
So, you might be wondering, how does Microsoft actually make this connection so incredibly dependable? Well, it all starts with building in redundancy from the ground up. The whole system, the entire architecture, is designed with one goal in mind: no single point of failure. The idea is that your connection to the cloud stays solid, even if a piece of hardware somewhere decides to have a bad day.
And here's where it gets really clever. The way they build in that reliability is that every single ExpressRoute circuit actually has two separate physical connections. Each one plugs into a different Microsoft router, what they call an MSE. So what does that mean for you? It means if your main connection ever goes down for any reason, your traffic just automatically and seamlessly flips over to the backup. No drama, no downtime.
So what's the magic behind that automatic failover? It's an industry-standard protocol called BGP, or Border Gateway Protocol. The easiest way to think about it is like a super smart GPS for your network traffic. It's constantly talking, exchanging route information, and making sure your data always takes the best, most efficient path to get from your network to Azure.
Okay, so obviously not every business is the same, right? And that's why ExpressRoute isn't just a one-size-fits-all thing. You can actually customize it quite a bit to fit exactly what you need.
First up, you can pick a tier based on your geographic needs. You've got local, which is a great cost-effective option if you just need to get to a single Azure region. Then there's premium, which is like your global passport. It gets you into all of Microsoft's cloud regions all over the world. And then there's global reach, which is really cool. It lets you use Microsoft's own backbone network to connect your own private data centers to each other. Next, you get to decide how big your expressway is. The bandwidth options are super flexible. You can start small at 50 megabits per second, but you can scale that all the way up to 10 gigs, or even a massive 100 gigs per second if your organization is moving just a ton of data. And finally, even the billing is flexible. You can go for an unlimited plan, which gives you a nice, predictable bill every month, or if you don't send a lot of data out of the cloud, you can choose a metered plan and just pay for what you use. That can be a real money saver for some folks. All right, so after all that, this brings us to the big question, right? Is ExpressRoute actually for you? Who are the people that really need this private expressway to the cloud? Well, this service really becomes essential when you have specific demanding needs. For example, if you're moving huge amounts of data, maybe for analytics or big backups, this is a total game changer. Or think about regulated industries like banking, government, healthcare. For them, a data breach isn't just an IT headache, it's a massive compliance nightmare. In those cases, a private, isolated connection like this is pretty much non-negotiable. It's also perfect for linking your own data centers across the globe, or just ensuring you get that rock-solid, predictable performance for things like Microsoft 365. So let's just wrap up with this one final thought. When your entire business, your operations, your critical data, your revenue really depends on the cloud, the whole conversation changes. It stops being about how much does an ExpressRoute connection cost, and it becomes about something else entirely. The real question you have to ask is, what's the cost to my business if I don't have one?